How's it going? Um, um, yeah, I don't know if I've got the energy to do any funny today. Well, not even funny. True stories or bad date stories or funny, crazy breakup stories. I don't know if I've got it in me today. I was back in the kitchen yesterday. First time in 5 weeks. We'll see because we've been having a refurbishment, but I've had to go and help a couple of other sites out across the northwest. I was in a different one today. I hate covering restaurants. I hate it. They're not your team, and you don't know where anything is. The menu's slightly different, and you're just like, I just can't be doing with it. And you've got to put a mask on. You've got to put a mask on. They don't know you, so it's that first impressions count. Yeah. Can you hear that? Can you hear the slurping? I hope you can. Yeah, and usually I have a load of bullet points, but there's not many. Um, it's getting fucking close, guys, to the old goodbye time. I think we've just got 2.5 weeks, something like that. It's fucking brutal. I'm going to talk about actually a few health things I've written down here. I don't know if I mentioned this on the last episode, but I've never had this. I had, I woke up one morning, this is last week. No, yeah, last week. And I had these terrible pains in like my kidneys. Is that your kidneys? The one on like back left of your back, lower back. And it was horrible. And then a day later, that pain went, but it moved to my testicles. Yes, it did. And my piss was burning. It was like pissing razor blades. And the worst, like, I shouldn't say this. The first thing that went through my brain was, hang on a minute, was there a third party involved? And I've now got an STI because I've never felt this much pain pissing. But I was being stupid, of course, as always. So I went to doctors, and it was a urinary infection, a really heavy one. So what they do is it was really annoying because I'd just been for a piss before going to the doctors. And a lovely doctor, she turned around, well, can you piss in this? I'm like, Jesus Christ, I've just pissed. So I went, and it was fucking so hurting. And it doesn't just hurt pissing, it's just like stop start, like a dripping tap. Like, it's just horrible. That wasn't my cum face, by the way. That was my urinal infection face. And yeah, it was brutal. And she gave me some antibiotics. It's fine now. It's all good. But she did ask me, have you been under a lot of stress recently? Have you been taking care of yourself? I didn't give her the full story. So it turns out, as much as I'm to blame for all of this, that one is on Gaia. My piss burning. Yes, I am stressed. Um, but no, I'm still trying to be the good guy. She's been great. Um, in fact, a lot of people think it's going to think this is fucking crazy. We're going to for a restaurant on Sunday, and it's probably going to be our last meal together as a, as a team. Um, and certainly the last meal before we say our goodbyes. Who knows what happens in the future. And it's a restaurant really close to our hearts. We've had many special memories there, birthdays, etc. And actually, I'll give them a shout out. The Sparrows in Manchester. Best pasta ever. That's including Italy. Fuck off. It's true. Best pasta ever. It's all homemade. Incredible. And the couple who own it, they know us. They know Gaia. And they're so lovely. But anyway, I went to book the table. It's my treat. And I said, I was fully booked. Online, it was fully booked. So I phoned up. And luckily, I gave the sub story, so look, I wouldn't normally do this, but it's actually a bit of an occasion. It's going to be our final meal together. Is there any way you can fit me in? And she turned around and went, oh, I've been divorced twice. I know exactly what you're going through. Let me get the diary out. And she did. And she's got us a table. So yeah, bittersweet. Just trying to enjoy each other's company without feeling so sad. It's just trying to find that fucking balance. It's so difficult. So we're doing that. But yeah, just trying to keep that hope alive. You don't want to shit on the memories. So if you shit on the memories, there's no chance of any reconciliation in the future, which we'll talk about actually in a bit. Because it's it's a needle in the haystack. It's going to be a slim chance, but I'm not going to stop. And for a period of time anyway, I'm not going to be in 20 years' time. Probably not even 2.5 years' time, but there's going to be a period where I'm going to fight for this. And I need to show evidence that I've taken on board what she said. Actually, we'll get into that now. It would be easier, I think I've said this, like if it had been an event which had caused the breakdown. But it isn't. It's she has fallen out of love with me. And I need to remind myself that quite a bit. She's fallen out of love with me. That's a long, hard road to get back up. And even if somehow I twisted her arm in 10 months' time and she decided to give the relationship another go, those feelings aren't going to be there at the start. They don't come back overnight. And I was talking to a really good friend of mine on the phone the other day, and I asked him a question. How long do you give someone space? Because I need to give her space. I need to give her space. If anything, enough time to maybe, hopefully, she misses me and she misses the relationship, and she starts to appreciate what we did have. Not that she doesn't appreciate it. But then if you wait too long, there's a chance one of you move on and you've moved on. So there's this window and there's no science to it where how long do you wait? If you go too short, you've not listened and you've not had time to show that you've listened. But also if you wait too long, they could really have moved on. And it's hard. It's really hard. And how do you win back somebody who doesn't love you anymore? Which is probably a question. I've got plans. I'm going to play every play in the playbook. I've got plans. But how often does it happen? Because again, an affair or an event, it's just about forgiveness then, isn't it? Forgiving, and can you find it in your heart to forgive or compromise, or changes? You have to make changes. You can't carry on. But when someone's fallen out of love with you, fuck, it's brutal. And it's also how hard it is to understand that they would rather be on their own than with you. Yeah, it's hard to take. Just got another health one. I don't know if these are what I think they could be, but for about 10 days now, again this morning on the way to work, really short of breath on the bus. My chest was so tight and like really struggling to breathe, like panic attack. I don't think I've ever had a panic attack, so I've got nothing to reference it against. But yeah, that's happening a lot, and it's happening a lot in the day where I'll get these periods of like real being short of breath and my chest being really tight. It's happening late at night before I go to bed. It's happening a lot in the mornings, and I don't know if it's related, but I'm going through that as well at the moment. One thing, we'll go wrap this up soon. Things that I'm trying to change in my life to show that I've listened, and it's sad that it takes something like this to sort your shit out. It really is. It is kind of pathetic, really. Banking. So I've gone and changed my current account to a really good one. And I've started a savings account. Deposited my first money in it this morning. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. It'll be deposited back out of your account by the end of next week. But you try. And they did a credit check in front of me. And I thought it was going to be a fucking disaster. I now know, I don't want to seem like I'm well versed in this, I now know it's scored out of 1,000. I now know that from being in my bank. And I was like, look, mate, my credits are it's going to be a mess. I'm here to start rebuilding that process. It's going to be baby steps. That's what I want to do. Turns out the credit rating wasn't so bad after all. A lot better than I thought. A lot better than I thought. So much so, I didn't believe him and made him turn his screen around like that. It's just like, no, that can't be true. It wasn't amazing. There was a couple of little things on there we need to sort out, but it was much better than I was expecting. And I came home and did that passive. Well, I did this thing where I left all the banking stuff that I'd got from the bank that day and just left it in a very visible place. I shouldn't be telling you this because she watches, just so she knows. I'm taking this very seriously. I'm taking it completely on board, and I will make changes, and I'm going to turn this franchise around. So yeah, back at work properly, my place on Monday, getting the whole new team together. Really looking forward to that. I've got a really good feeling this team that I've recruited are going to be something special in a good way. They're a really strong team, personality-wise. I recruit teams, yes, on their CVs, but are they going to play well together? Because if you get a team that get on, it's half your job done. And that's not just being a head chef, that's just simple leadership. They're getting on. There's more you can do with them. Yeah, the grand opening VIP media night. Don't know if I mentioned this, is a week on Monday, the 26th. Is it the 26th? Jesus Christ, we really are coming to the end soon. Hey ho. I've got her on my guest list with her friend Caroline, who's quite a famous chef. And got them on the guest list because, again, I've not given her much to be proud of the last few years. And I want to show her something that I've done. I've done well, and yeah. And I think that's about it really today, guys. It's a short one. But if any of you again, in the last few days, a few people have reached out, private messages. Thank you so much. Please give the channel a subscribe. You don't have to watch, but just give it a subscribe and give it a thumbs up. Okay? It's like a fake compliment. Okay, just do it. All right? Because living on your own is going to get a lot more expensive. Okay, so please do that. That's about it, guys. To be honest, yeah. And if any of you got any advice on how to win back somebody who doesn't love you anymore, I'd love to hear your advice. And that's about it, really, guys. Have a great weekend. I will speak to you soon, and have a great one. Bye bye.